Hi everyone, this is Joe Spar, the school psychologist with the Eastern Upper Peninsula Intermediate School District, and I'm going to show you how to progress monitor using the AIMSweb online database. First, you're going to log in at www.aimsweb.com. If you're in the Eastern Upper Peninsula, then your login number will be 24738. If you don't know your username and password, email me and I'll get that to you. Now that you're logged in, you will see this screen. There's a tab at the top of the page that says Progress Monitor. Click on that. Now you should be on a screen that has a list of the available measures from AIMSweb that you can use for progress monitoring. Right now I have the RCBM measure, which is the measure of oral reading fluency, selected. From here, I'm going to click on the tab on the left side of the page that says Schedules. Next, I'm going to click on the button that says Manage Students, because this will allow me to select the students that are going to be progress monitored. Now you should be on a screen where you have a list of all the student names that you entered into the AIMSweb system when you did your universal screening. From here, you can select any number of those students to be put into the system for progress monitoring. For the purpose of this video, I have all the students' names blanked out, so there's no confidentiality issues, but I'm going to select the student at the top of the page and show you how I enter that student into the system and how I enter the data and generate reports. After you've selected your desired students for progress monitoring and click the Add PM button, it'll bring you to this screen. This screen has a list of all the available AIMSweb measures, so choose the ones that you intend the progress monitor the students on, and then click Save. So on this page, you should see a list of all the students that you selected for progress monitoring. I'm going to take the one student that I entered and set up a progress monitoring schedule for him, where I will decide how frequently he's going to be progress monitored. So the way I do that is by clicking on Enter Schedule. So now there are two things we need to decide for this student. First of all, what is going to be the start date and the end date for our goal for this student? And second of all, what is going to be our assessment schedule and frequency? I'm going to start the student's goal today, and I'm going to make the end date the last day of the school year. So I clicked on the calendar button next to goal ending date. I advanced the calendar using the plus button, and I chose June 5th as the goal end date. The assessment schedule and frequency that you use for progress monitoring is up to you, but what I've generally been recommending is that students in Tier 3 be monitored once per week, and students in Tier 2 be monitored once per month. Now, for this particular student, I chose weekly progress monitoring, and I chose to monitor him every Thursday. Now hit Save on that page, and it will bring you back to this screen. This time, I'm going to hit the word Enter under Goal, so that way I can set a goal for this student's performance. Next, we have to record the student's baseline score, as well as the score we would like the student to obtain by the end of the intervention period. So let's say, hypothetically, that when this student was tested as part of the winter screening, he read 92 words correctly and made 9 errors. I'm going to record those numbers under initial corrects. Then let's say my goal for this student by the end of the year is 130 words read correctly per minute with 6 or fewer errors. I'm going to put that under goal corrects and goal errors. Now, I chose these numbers arbitrarily. They don't actually mean anything. If you would like to center your goals based around percentile ranks, then you can go to the Reports tab at the top of the page and click AIMSweb on the left side of the page. From there, you'll be able to access all the norms, and you can determine goals. Now, just a note on that before I go any further, there are different ways that you can set realistic goals for student improvement. When I'm setting progress monitoring goals, what I usually like to do is base them on national percentile ranks and rates of improvement. I created a handout for you at the last Smarty meeting called 3 Ways to Set Progress Monitoring Goals. That'll give you some ideas on how you can set realistic goals for your students. If you'd like a copy of that, feel free to email me. Once you click Save on that page, you can finally start entering some data. Click the date under Next Score, and it will take you to this screen. From this screen, you can enter the words read correctly and number of errors for any given day. To advance a week, click on the button that says Next. I'm going to start entering some arbitrary scores, and then we'll take a look at the graph that we can generate based on that data. Now that I'm done entering these scores, I'm going to hit save. It'll take me back to this screen. Now, as you can see, there is a new section that wasn't completed before. It says whether the student is above target, below target, or on target. If I click on the words above target, it will take me to a graphical representation of this student's performance. As you can see from this graph, we have a goal line, which is the rate of improvement the student would need to make in order to meet our goal by the end of the year. That's the black line. There's a trend line, which represents how much the student is actually improving in response to intervention, and that's represented by the red dotted line. And there are individual data points at each date that a measurement was taken. These data points are represented by the red dots, which represent number of words read correctly per minute, and the green dots, which represent how many errors were made. Below the graph is a goal statement which says, in 18.0 weeks, our student will achieve 130 words read correctly with 6 errors from grade 7 standard progress monitoring passages. The rate of improvement should be 2.11 words read correctly per week. The current average rate of improvement is 3.48 words read correctly per week. Now, something like this you might even find useful when writing IEP goals. Below the goal statement is a chart that shows when the measurements were taken and exactly how many words were read correctly and how many errors the student had on each one of those passages. You can check this graph regularly to see if your student is on track to meet the goals that you've set. And remember, best practices say that you shouldn't discontinue your intervention or switch to a different intervention until you've collected about 6 or 7 data points. So try to get 6 or 7 data points before making that decision. If you have any other questions about progress monitoring or anything that I've discussed in this video, feel free to contact me at my email listed here. Thank you.